Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your official SmackDown Live review for the date of January 30th, 2018, and it is your SmackDown Live review following the Royal Rumble 2018 pay-per-view. And SmackDown Live was a lot like Monday Night Raw last night, in which it had focus and it had direction, and some of those things fell flat and others didn't. You had the Usos coming out and cutting their promo. That went and rose up and was a good segment. Other things, like Charlotte coming out and addressing the state of the women's division, and the Riot Squad coming out and the tease of a Money in the Bank cash-in, that fell flat. It was a very up and down night here tonight on SmackDown Live. They're teasing the breakup heavily of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They announced a matchup that's going to be a very interesting watch next week in Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens to determine who will face AJ Styles at Fastlane. It's very, very, very interesting the way they're going on SmackDown Live. What pissed me off the most here tonight is that I never felt that there was direct build to what the main event of WrestleMania, at least for SmackDown Live. Hopefully the match actually is the main event and goes on last, but that's a whole discussion for another video. But there was no build, there was no hint of AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. It was literally focused on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles is the match we all want, and there's not a hint of tension between the two superstars. You have 4 months or 3 months, whatever the number is, of days that you have going into WrestleMania. I think it's 2 months actually. And you are going to need to focus on getting this done. You're going to need to focus on building AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I understand that the build is not immediate. It doesn't need to be immediate. I get that. But there needs to be some build of tension between these two superstars. And this tag team matchup where they teamed together here tonight made them seem more like partners than rivals, because that's what they're inevitably going to be. I'm going to be very interested to see the way that WWE books this feud between Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, if it even is AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura by the time we get to WrestleMania. Because WWE, I wouldn't put it past them to pull some funky shit and to have Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn take the title from AJ Styles. And if that's the case, I mean, I don't think anybody would mind seeing Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura reliving their matchup from NXT TakeOver back in when Nakamura debuted. When was that? NXT TakeOver Texas? One of those shows. Amazing matchup those two put on in the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, NXT TakeOver Dallas, that was the show back in 2016. That was amazing. I'm sure nobody would mind reliving that. But the dream matchup, the biggest matchup you can do right now is AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And my worry is that WWE is going to completely tarnish the hype because they're going to not build any hype. They're just going to have Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles be cohorts. No, if we're doing this matchup, I want tension between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that AJ Styles is a heel or Shinsuke Nakamura is a heel, but there needs to be a rivalry, whether it's friendly or not. There needs to be some level of competitiveness to this rivalry between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. I can't have them teaming together on SmackDown Live. I understand that you have a ways to go until WrestleMania, and you don't want to do that quite yet. But here tonight, again, they did not come across as rivals, and that's what you are going to need to establish. I did not like that. Another thing I did not like is the way they did Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens tension. Realistically, if you wanted to have a fantastic segment similar to what you did with the Festival of Friendship regarding Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, you really could have done that. A dramatic segment. It didn't need to be along the lines of the presentation of the Festival of Friendship, because I think we can all agree that was just over the top. But one thing I was looking for here is something that you didn't see coming, and the surprise factor. There was none of that here. There was none of that between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. You knew Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens were going to split up, but you didn't know when it was going to happen. We knew that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were eventually going to split up, but we didn't know when it was going to happen. WWE had that going in their favor. They pretty much tarnished that here tonight. They've made it so it can be any single week. Now, they haven't officially broken up yet, but, I mean, it's coming. I see them going into WrestleMania against each other. I mean, that's just the way I see things going here. So SmackDown Live overall, I wouldn't say it was a bad show here tonight, but it damn sure wasn't a good show. A lot of things fell flat. The main event wasn't too exciting. I was really just hanging on the intrigue in what they're doing between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And it seems like the Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon situation has now taken a complete pause. I don't know. I don't know about that. They did not have a segment here tonight. I mean, again, you're going with the slow build with this one, so it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, they had a segment last night at the Royal Rumble, and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan seemed to be in complete agreement over everything. So I don't know. I do not know where they're going with that one, but it looks like SmackDown Live's matches at WrestleMania are going to be as follows. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. It's going to be Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan, or Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan in some regard working with each other. Hopefully it is Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan, because that sounds pretty awesome. The Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers, which was very subtly hinted at and very nicely hinted at tonight. I'm going to talk about that. And Charlotte going against Asuka. I believe Asuka's going to challenge Charlotte. As well as, what other title? The United States Championship. I see the United States Championship. Bobby Roode, maybe versus Dolph Ziggler. I'm not sure about that one. And there were rumors about Bobby Roode facing Jeff Hardy, a returning Jeff Hardy on the SmackDown brand at WrestleMania. That's the only matchup that's really up in the air. But if those matchups that I just listed to you are what SmackDown Live is going for at WrestleMania, I mean, I got no complaints about that. If that's what they're going for, I like that a lot. I've been wanting a Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn WrestleMania matchup for a long time now, so it looks like they're going to capitalize on that. Clearly, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Hopefully they build it the right way. Hopefully they build it like they did a Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Hopefully they do this the old school way. Do it like if it was a Hulk Hogan and an Ultimate Warrior going against each other, bro. The two biggest names on your brand. That's what Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles are. So they should be building it along those lines. Hopefully they do build that correctly, because it's no doubt going to be a 5-star caliber matchup, what AJ Styles and Nakamura are going to do in that ring. But everybody seems to forget about the build. And of course the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers. The undefeated Bludgeon Brothers versus literally the best tag team on SmackDown Live, like the Usos came out and stated here tonight. I'm fine with that. I'm more than fine with that. And, I mean, we don't even know who's going to be United States Champion come WrestleMania time, because next week, actually, and it was determined here tonight who the number one contender would be, but Rusev is going against Bobby Roode for the United States Championship. And clearly that's something that makes me very, very happy. Rusev Day getting some sort of push on SmackDown Live. Wasn't necessarily in the tag team division. I'm damn sure fine with Rusev getting a shot at the United States Championship. So those are the talking points for SmackDown Live here tonight. Like I mentioned, a lot of stuff happened on this show here tonight. A lot of stuff happened. Most fell flat. Some rose up to the top. And we're going to talk about in detail what that was. Was not a good show. Damn sure was not a bad show. But, I mean, realistically, you can still be doing better. One thing that really pissed me off here tonight on SmackDown Live, it seems like they have direction. That's finally what SmackDown Live needed. Direction. Keep on that course. Keep on with the direction, because that's what you need. Literally, the show was going nowhere beforehand. But one thing that really pissed me off here tonight was the fact that you had these backstage segments, or the flip phone recorded promos, which I'm starting to despise, by the way. Or not the flip phone. It looks like it was recorded on the flip phone. The cell phone recorded promos. And you have these corny 1960s looking subtitles popping up on everybody's thing. And they'll take these pauses, bro. And when you're going to the next person, the screen will flash blue like it's some goddamn 1980s Breakfast Club movie. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It looks absolutely ridiculous. It really does. My lord. Yeah, I mean, this might just be a coincidence, but yesterday Raw got some good looking goddamn graphics. They updated them graphics for Raw. I hear it got a new theme song. I did not catch that theme song anywhere. Can't find it on YouTube anywhere. But I mean, apparently Raw got a new theme song. Raw got new graphics. Why not do the same for SmackDown Live? Instead, you're hindering the graphics of the show. I don't think that's a coincidence. That's a conspiracy, if you ask me, my lord. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's just one thing that bothered me about SmackDown Live here tonight. But of course, like always, I just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content right here on Ringside Wrestling ENT. Of course, Raw and SmackDown reviews each and every single week. Your Raw review for last night is up. All the chaos that happened on Raw, the good, the bad, the ugly, we cover it right there on your Monday Night Raw review, as well as to make sure to go check out all the content on the big week that was last week. Particularly, I want you guys to go check out the Royal Rumble 2018 review and results, and of course, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia review and results. Two surprisingly good Royal Rumble and amazing, expectedly good NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. We talk about what happened on those shows over the weekend after those shows went off the air. So make sure to go check out those reviews if you have not seen it yet. I enjoyed watching and reviewing those shows. And if you want an educated opinion or you missed any of those shows, make sure to go check it out. I highly recommend you watch NXT. We probably saw the best NXT match of all time. Probably the best matchup I've seen in over a decade, bro. In Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas. Amazing matchup, bro. Amazing matchup. Make sure to go check that one out because, I mean, afterwards you gotta go watch that NXT TakeOver Philadelphia review where I am just completely mind-boggling, still trying to process what I just saw in that amazing classic match. No doubt 5 stars. So that was the content from last week. Of course, there's always content coming. Behind the Mic will return this week as the weekend presentation. News floating around, and we cover all of it on Behind the Mic. Of course, pay-per-view reviews, NXT TakeOver specials, so much more breaking news stories covered right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Literally everything regarding the WWE covered right here on Ringside Wrestling. So if you do not want to miss a thing, make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button with the Kinshasa, a Styles Clash, a phenomenal forearm, a Haluva Kick, a Blue Thunder Bomb. Hit it with all of that, and of course make sure to comment what you thought of SmackDown Live here tonight, because your opinion is just as important as mine. So tell me what you thought of SmackDown Live. Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Might go 50-50, but make sure to leave your comments in the comment section down below, because for now we're going straight into the SmackDown Live review, and we were once again in the Wells Fargo Center for like the 4th straight night, I believe. We were still in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I don't know what it was. I mean, the crowd was better here tonight. It was the worst last night. Last night for Monday Night Raw, they were absolutely terrible. Here tonight, it seems like they woke back up. Did the Wells Fargo Arena. Clearly they were amazing. For NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. And they were pretty good for the Royal Rumble, besides WWE effing up the match order. But that is besides the point. We're talking SmackDown Live, and SmackDown Live did begin here tonight with a prototypical WWE opening. They need to vary up the openings of these goddamn shows, bro, because it's literally the same thing each and every single week, and it is annoying, it is stale, and it is boring. But the show did start off with Shinsuke Nakamura talking about his Royal Rumble win, and clearly Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming out and interrupting and stating their case about what happened to them at the Royal Rumble on Sunday.
Royal Rumble, SAMI ZAYN, knee to the face. John Cena, knee to the face. Roman Reigns, WrestleMania, AJ Styles, knee, face, new WWE Champion.
You can talk about how you're going to beat AJ Styles all you want. The fact is, 2 nights ago, we were screwed out of our title. Yep! We were once again victims of the vendetta machine constructed by Shane McMahon, hell-bent on holding us down. The referee has one job. You've got one job: protect the integrity of the match at all costs. Yep. AJ Styles pinned the wrong man. That's right, and that right there is why we have every right and another opportunity for the WWE title. So Shinsuke, buddy, at WrestleMania, it won't be AJ Styles you face, it's going to be us.
You know, just to take a quick pause here, I don't understand this argument and why it was even validated by Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, or at least Daniel Bryan, because, I mean, realistically, these guys did get another chance at the WWE Championship later in the night because Sami Zayn entered the Royal Rumble. Yet that wasn't brought up as a rebuttal, telling them that they already got pretty much their rematch through the Royal Rumble. I don't understand why that wasn't brought up. They entered the Royal Rumble and they took Ty Dillinger's spot, and literally that's not even being used for storyline purposes. I find that absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, continuing on here.
AJ Styles a winner. You are losers. There will be a dream match. It will happen in New Orleans on the grandest stage of them all. And it will be between me and Shinsuke Nakamura.
I actually just realized he was referencing New Japan when he was talking about a rematch.
SmackDown Live, the house that AJ Styles built. Shinsuke, I say we turn this dream match into a dream team and take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn right here tonight. You really want this match, huh? Nope.
And they attack Zayn and Owens, knocking them off the apron. So they're fighting at WrestleMania, but no tension is built. He literally says there will be a rematch, and it's going to be between me and Nakamura, and that's it. He states what we already knew. They're fighting at WrestleMania. Wow. What a shocker, bro. What a shocker. No build between that, but later in the night, the tension would grow between AJ Styles, or Daniel Bryan, not Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. There you go. Those are the right names. There's tension building everywhere on SmackDown Live, right? Or at least I'm supposed to believe. I think. I guess. But there would be tension built because Daniel Bryan would tell Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that he is going to put them in a matchup against each other to determine the next WWE Championship #1 contender at Fastlane. And here is that announcement. Here is that little segment. If it will load here, yes it will. And no ads. Fantastic.
We need to talk. We really need to talk. Just the two people I wanted to see. Listen, AJ Styles does not have the power to make matches. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. That's right. But I do. And so tonight, the two of you will face AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Come on, man. This is almost as bad as the Royal Rumble when the referee made the single biggest blown call in WWE history. Listen, the referee's decision is final. Oh my God! Oh, thanks so much for enlightening us.
Wasn't 3 weeks ago in the Gable match in Benjamin.
And he thought that you tagged Kevin. It was too close to call. A mistake? A mistake is setting your alarm for 7 p.m. instead of 7 a.m. This wasn't a mistake. This was for the WWE title. This was history-altering. This was a life-changing catastrophe. That's what it was, not a mistake. Come on, Daniel. Yep. Listen, you got to make this right, okay? Don't let Shane McMahon push us to the back of the line. You got to make this right. We deserve another opportunity at the WWE title. We deserve better. You know that. We deserve it. Calm down. Calm down. I can't calm down. Listen, I agree with you. But you do? Yeah. And so you guys are going to get another opportunity at the WWE Championship. Yeah. And next what did I tell you? No way. He's the man. He's the voice of reason. I told you we could count on him. Yeah, absolutely. So next week, I have planned this huge main event. And the winner of that match is going to face AJ Styles at Fastlane for the WWE Championship. It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Isn't that awesome, guys?
So there it is. There is the announcement of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going against each other next week on SmackDown Live instead of working together pretty much to take out AJ Styles. Instead of getting that comfortable position in the 2-on-1 that they expected, they will be going against each other. And I mean, I like that. It twists things up. It makes you wonder, where are they going with this, bro? Are they going to split up Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens just like that easily? It seems like it's going to go that direction. I feel like there might be more to it. I'm not sure, but that is what was announced. It will be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. So the matchup, we go from there to a fatal 4-way to crown a new #1 contender to the WWE United States Championship for and it was Kofi Kingston versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev versus Zack Ryder. And I immediately saw the 4 competitors in that equation, and I said, yeah, Jinder Mahal's winning this. WWE actually decently surprised us. Now I said, well, Rusev, part of a tag team. Xavier Woods, part of a tag team. Do I really believe that they are going to pin? Actually, it says Xavier Woods here, and I believe the graphics said Xavier Woods. Oh no, it was Kofi Kingston. It was Kofi Kingston. I put Xavier Woods in my WWE 2K18 match and everything. Well, that was a little botch, wasn't it? But that is besides the point, because it was, again, 2 members of a tag team, and then Zack Ryder, who I wouldn't believe that WWE would push if I was blind, bro. I really wouldn't. If I was deaf and blind, I wouldn't believe. A blind man would not believe that Zack Ryder is getting a push from the WWE, and that is logical. And he didn't. He did not get an opportunity. So clearly I'm saying, well, it's going to be Jinder Mahal. No. WWE actually put on a pretty decent little fatal 4-way over here, and they gave us a surprising winner that the crowd actually wanted to see. Jinder got a 2 count on Rusev. Kofi runs in and takes out Jinder and Rusev. Kofi hits the boom drop on Jinder. Kofi hit the SOS on Ryder for a near fall 2 count, but Jinder broke it up. Jinder hit a huge clothesline on Ryder. Rusev knocks Jinder over the top rope to the floor. Rusev stacks Kofi on Ryder and goes for the accolade, but Jinder runs in with the roll-up for a 2 count. I thought it was over right there. That was a nice near fall. Jinder ends up dropping Rusev with a knee to the face. Jinder grabs Rusev for the Kaloss, and I did not believe that was going to happen, and it didn't, because, I mean, Jinder Mahal can barely hit a Kaloss on AJ Styles. What makes you think he's going to hit one on Rusev? Yeah, sure. So that didn't happen. It was countered. Ryder charges and hits the Rough Rider on Jinder. That was actually a nice spot. It looked like he was going for it on Rusev, but Rusev popped him up. Ryder went straight over Rusev and into Jinder Mahal. That took Jinder Mahal out of the equation. Rusev hit a big super kick on Ryder, which took him out of the equation. And it was a pretty nice ending sequence because Kofi missed the Trouble in Paradise, went for an SOS instead. Rusev countered that, and he puts Kofi in the accolade for the win, and Rusev gets the title shot. Finally, WWE is at least putting some stock on the Rusev Day. I mean, you see that they're over. Realistically, if you ask me, at the Royal Rumble, it would have been Rusev Day versus the Usos. They did not decide to go that way. The Usos, or the Rusev Day, has been taking random losses to the New Day in gimmick, silly Christmas matches. It's been ridiculous. These guys are over. WWE hasn't been capitalizing on them. It finally seems like, at least somewhat, I don't think Rusev's winning the United States Championship. Believe me, I would be delighted if he did. I don't think that's happening, but at least they're putting some stock under him. Honestly, if you ask me, you should have held this match out until Fastlane. This matchup for the United States Championship is going to go on next week. That's a mistake in and of itself right there. I would have had this at least be stretched out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Have 2 weeks of build to this United States Championship matchup. I mean, you can get some nice build-in between Rusev Day, some nice promos between Rusev Day and Bobby Roode, but none of that is capitalized on. You could have even stretched this out until Fastlane if you really wanted to. None of this is capitalized on. SmackDown went with the lazy booking. If you're going to have a number 1 contender and there's no story built between the number 1 contender and the champion, what's even the point of seeing the matchup? How are you going to be invested in the matchup? The only reason to get invested in this matchup is because Rusev Day is over. And that's it. And the title's on the line. Those are the only reasons to get invested in this matchup. Besides that, there's really nothing. So WWE made a mistake as far as that goes. But as far as taking Rusev as your number 1 contender, I like that. You got a nice win under Rusev. He won in this fatal 4-way. Maybe WWE will capitalize it and hotshot the title onto Rusev, but I like the way Bobby Roode is being a fighting champion and defending the championship, getting some honor behind that championship, kind of even building up a mid-card on SmackDown Live. I like that. You got Jinder Mahal, Rusev. I guess the New Day is now part of the singles division on SmackDown Live. I don't even know about that. You had goddamn Big E flinging pancakes in the direction of Corey Graves during this matchup. God damn, is SmackDown Live commentary awful. Even Corey Graves is brought down by the garbageness of Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton might be the worst, most naive commentator. I mean, you're used to him by now because he's been in that position for like, what, 3 years? My God, we've been hearing Byron Saxton for how long, bro? But I mean, it's his bickering with Corey Graves is god-awful. It really, really is. Byron Saxton makes no goddamn sense. Still makes more sense than Booker T, because how can you make less sense than Booker T? You gotta be really bad if that's the case, but I mean, it's just awful. It is awful, bro. It is absolutely terrible. But Rusev gets that opportunity. Still not flawless. But I mean, WWE at least giving Rusev Day an opportunity here. Hopefully they make Rusev look strong in this matchup, and they continue the momentum of Rusev Day going at least somewhat. At least WWE seems to be minimally trying. They could be doing a lot better, don't get me wrong on that one, but at least there is something there to sink your teeth into. The next segment, and WWE does not seem to have this segment, this great promo that the Usos cut on SmackDown Live here tonight. They did not seem to put it on their YouTube channel. I would have loved to play it for you guys, but it's just not here. That is a mistake by WWE in and of itself. That was a great little promo that the Usos cut right there. The Usos call on the City of Brotherly Love to show them some love, and then they brag how they won the 2 out of 3 falls match over Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. 2 falls, 2-zip. They didn't even get pinned in that 2 out of 3 falls match. But that's nothing new, because they've been sweeping through SmackDown Live since day one. They show us all the teams that they have locked down. American Alpha, locked down. American Alpha 2, locked down. The Hype Bros, locked down. Breezango, locked down. The New Day, locked down. Even the Bar, who isn't even on SmackDown Live, locked down. They go on about their lifestyles and how they have to struggle. You gotta wake up early in the morning. You gotta get to work. You gotta do all your daily things, but all those struggles only make you stronger. They go on with the trash talking and welcome us to the Uso Penitentiary, and they had this graphic every time they would say lockdown. Why? Why do you need the graphic there? It looked silly, bro. It really, really did. Like they were prepared to click the button every time they said lockdown. Ridiculous. Anyways, the Usos leave the ring, and they say, you can't... Actually, they threw a subtle hint here. They said, you cannot beat us. We are the best tag team in WWE, and it's very hard to disagree with them. After this promo, it's hard to disagree with them. Seeing the matches they put on throughout 2017 with the New Day, with the Bar, it's hard to disagree with them. And they said it doesn't matter if you're brothers, a team, it doesn't matter what you are. But they specifically said brothers at the end. And who came out but the Bludgeon Brothers? And they did not even look. They did not even look in the direction of the Usos. I like the way they did that. I like it a lot. It's very subtle, but it's giving us that hint that you will see this matchup down the line, and you're probably going to see it at WrestleMania, because the Usos can brag about how they've beaten everybody, but they haven't beaten the Bludgeon Brothers, and I like that. They were against enhancement talents again here tonight with the Bludgeon Brothers. I would have put them like against the Ascension or something. I don't know. You can feed them a team. I mean, realistically, enhancement talents again, I thought they were past that at this point. But clearly they destroyed them for another easy win, and it wasn't really too much to write home about, but I mean, it seems exciting. We see a weird Twitter video, and I do not know how WWE is going to work this, but they announced a new top 10 ranking system that will be voted on by the SmackDown superstars. Shane and Daniel Bryan will use it to make decisions on the show. I do not know how this is going to necessarily work, but the way he explained it is superstars cannot vote for themselves, and they have to vote for another superstar that they feel is worthy of an opportunity. And Shane and Bryan will use that ranking system to determine who is going to be competing in matches. So clearly WWE is going to have full say on who these superstars vote for. It's not going to be like AJ Styles can say, well, I think Shinsuke Nakamura deserves an opportunity on this week. Clearly, the WWE is going to be doing this, but I mean, I have been begging for WWE to have some type of a ranking system for each championship. Like, you look at WWE 2K18's Universe Mode, there's a ranking system for each championship. Now, those ranking systems may be full of crap, but there is a ranking system in the My Career and Universe Mode. So, I mean, they should implement that. They should realistically implement a system like that into WWE. But, of course, they won't, because when they want to hot start a push of a certain superstar, like Jinder Mahal, and he's just been jobbing out for years upon years, and WWE just wants to put him in that position instead of being able to just plug him in there and put him in that position. WWE, if they had a legitimate ranking system, they wouldn't be able to do that. They'd need to spend weeks getting him into that top 10 and building him up, which kind of makes it BS, but of course that's the way I'm seeing this is going to work, bro. Or that's the way things have worked in the past. So WWE introducing some type of ranking system is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think this even might be used as a catalyst for the feud of Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. I think that's what this is ultimately going to be. I think this is all BS, and it's just going to be like, oh, this person got voted there, and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan are going to disagree heavily, blah, blah, blah. Maybe Kevin Owens will get voted, or Sami Zayn will get voted as a top superstar there, and Shane McMahon won't want to pick him, but Daniel Bryan says, well, he's there at the number one spot. So maybe that's what's going to happen. I do not know, but, I mean, realistically, this sounds like an interesting idea, and it's going to be interesting to see how WWE uses it to enhance their storyline. So they're introducing a top 10 superstars little thing. I guess that's going to be factored into storylines going into the future. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it works, but I just found that very weird and very odd, that announcement. Shane McMahon is backstage on the phone talking about the Rumble when Ty Dillinger walks in. Ty says any other time he'd want to talk about the new ranking systems, but Shane knows why he's here. What happens with Sami at the Rumble. Baron Corbin walks in and knocks Ty. Corbin also rants about wanting a shot. They have words, and Shane says they settled things in the ring on SmackDown. It looks like we have Corbin versus Dillinger for tonight, and we did get Corbin versus Dillinger here tonight, where it was an absolutely irrelevant match, and we've seen it before as well, and Ty Dillinger lost. So really, what was the point of that? Back from the break, we see some stills from Asuka's Royal Rumble win, and out comes Charlotte Flair. I'm actually going to search around a bit to see if WWE has posted this promo on their YouTube channel yet, and I'll be right back. Nope, as I see it, WWE has not uploaded this. Really nothing to behold anyways. It's Charlotte talking like an absolute robot. I don't know who scripts these promos, bro. I really don't. Literally, at one point in this promo, she said, and lastly, like, are you writing an essay? Or are you cutting a WWE promo? Because I cannot tell the difference. Anyways, we go to the ring and Charlotte Flair is with Renee Young. Flair says she couldn't be more proud to see the other woman make history on Sunday in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, but it was the first time in her career that she wished she hasn't been champion. She talks more about the Rumble and says if I can speak here, she was then part of something that broke the internet, the arrival of Ronda Rousey. Flair says she knows all she knows is that she's going to WrestleMania 34 as champion. The music interrupts and out comes the Riot Squad: Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riot. Ruby, who is very good on the mic, actually, surprisingly. Ruby tells Flair to forget about Asuka and Rousey. She asks Flair if she hears herself talk about breaking the internet because her ego is as big as her father's. Ruby says of course Flair thinks she would have won the Rumble, and of course she thinks she can just pick her WrestleMania opponent. Ruby continues running Flair down as they walk to the ring. Ruby says Flair is just a cheap imitation of her father, WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair. The Riot Squad is in the ring now. Ruby came to tell Flair that her time is over, but it's up to Ruby. But if it's up to Ruby, Flair won't even make it to WrestleMania. Flair asks if she's done yet and delivers a woo to her. Ruby swings, but Flair blocks and it backfires, and this pretty much leads to the Riot Squad beating the crap out of Charlotte and Carmella coming out to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase. Or at least we thought, but Carmella, like an idiot, drop kicks the referee instead. Cannot believe it, how they can portray Carmella to be such an idiot. Charlotte gets out of the way. She drop kicks the referee down to the floor. Referees clearly cannot take any type of damage in the WWE, or they will be out for years almost, or that's what it felt like. So Carmella just took her briefcase and she went right back to the back. So Carmella did not cash in her Money in the Bank tonight. Pretty good teaser, but it did not happen here tonight. I'm glad they did this because realistically, I forgot she was even holding the briefcase. I forgot this was even an option anymore. But that's still a factor going into WrestleMania. So, there's that. Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. Actually, before that, there was a backstage segment where AJ was trying to talk to Nakamura about strategy, but Nakamura was just like, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And then AJ's like, you're joking, right? And he's like, I'm joking. So, Nakamura just being a little troll there. Again, no tension between these two guys. You should have had Nakamura been like, yeah, I'm joking. But at the same time, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And then he does his little thing. But, I mean, none of that. Of course not. Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin won. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. Renee Young interviews Carmella about cashing in, and she said that she's just reminding Charlotte that she is still holding the briefcase. Well, you needed to remind everybody because we all forgot you've been holding it so long. Baron Corbin beats Ty Dillinger with the End of Days. Garbage match. Ty Dillinger on SmackDown Live for the first time in God knows how long, and he's losing. Wow. Fantastic. We got a backstage video from Rusev and Aiden English. Aiden sings about Rusev becoming the WWE United States Champion next week, and Rusev sends a message to champion Bobby Roode. We cut backstage to Roode, who says he has an appointment with Rusev next Tuesday, circling the date on a calendar, but when you're the U.S. champion, your schedule fills up quickly. Roode writes glorious on the calendar and smiles. Roode versus Rusev will take place next week. The way they produced this little backstage segment was absolutely terrible, may I mind you. This was where they did that 90s, 80s movie thing where the screen went blue or to some odd color. It was so ridiculous, bro. So ridiculous. Anyways, we go to a backstage segment between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and the shade being thrown here. Sami says the good news is at least one of them will be getting a WWE title shot. It's just a shame they will have to go against each other. Owens agrees to both points. Sami says then again, opportunity is all they needed. Owens agrees and says unless Sami fails, Sami says, sort of like how AJ pinned Owens on Sunday at the Rumble. Owens points out how Sami got eliminated in the Rumble match after 5 minutes, and at least they used it for something. At least they used it to build tension between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I knew that would be brought up. But Sami says all he knows is that he won't fail in tonight's tag match because he has Owens in his corner. Owens agrees and says Sami won't fail tonight. So that was pretty interesting right there. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus Breezango. This was, who cares? It was set up by a Fashion Files edition where Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin pretty much just went into the office and knocked down a couple laptops and said, you can't beat us. So here we are, and Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable were right. Breezango could not beat them. Decent tag team championship match, or tag team championship, yeah, sure. Decent matchup, but in the end the result was clear. This was just to get some momentum back on Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. They had no problem beating the team of Breezango here tonight using the Steiner finish. That led us into the main event here tonight, which was Shinsuke Nakamura and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And I mean, pretty much tension was built in this matchup as soon as there was some confusion, I don't even know what, between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn, for a good portion of this matchup, went to the ramp and he just said, yeah, I'm not helping you, bro. I am not helping you. And he went to the back. Kevin Owens was fighting by himself, or not to the back. He was standing on the ramp. Kevin Owens was fighting by himself. Sami Zayn decided to come back in the ring. I actually saved Kevin Owens from getting beaten here. And he said, yeah, tag me in, tag me in. So it looked like they were going to work together again, but Kevin Owens started yelling at him, saying, tag me in, tag me in. So eventually that turned into the thing where they're tagging each other in, but they're slapping each other hard on the chest. I don't even know why they're allowed to make tags like that. I really don't. But, I mean, pretty much this led to Sami Zayn walking out again in this matchup. And this time he went to the back, and Owens just pretty much took a Kinshasa from Shinsuke Nakamura when AJ Styles finally got the hot tag, and bada boom shakalaka, it's 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles are all buddy-buddy celebrating in the ring, and Sami Zayn is interviewed backstage, and he says, listen, he was interviewed by Renee Young, and she asked, are you and Kevin Owens done? Is your friendship over? And he said, no, our friendship is not over, but this is the championship. This is the goal. This is competition, and at the end of the day, we both want to win the WWE Championship, and I'm going to need what I need to do to win the WWE Championship, and if that means having to beat Kevin Owens, I'm going to beat Kevin Owens, and then I'm going to go to Fastlane, and I'm going to beat AJ Styles, and I'm going to go to WrestleMania as WWE Champion. He brought up how Kevin Owens has been United States Champion, Universal Champion, Intercontinental Champion. He has not met that success, and it is because he has not been ruthless. He has not used the attitude. He has not been in the correct mindset. He will not let that affect him this time around. He's going to win the WWE Championship. I like that. I like that statement from Sami Zayn. I like the way this is breaking down. It's building. It's building, and it's building a lot quicker than Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. But, I mean, realistically, I like the way they're going about this. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. The SmackDown Live, if they accomplish one thing here tonight, it's that they left you wanting to see what was going to happen next week. And they left you wanting to tune into SmackDown Live next week. Are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going to officially split up? Well, they're fighting each other next week. Something we didn't think we'd see for a while. And they're fast forwarding this pretty quickly. It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Now, there's no doubt in my mind about that, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in their matchup on SmackDown Live next week, which will determine who faces AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. If you ask me what's going to happen in that matchup, I completely want Sami Zayn to win, because we've seen Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles already. We haven't seen Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles to that much of an extent. I feel like if you give those guys 25 minutes on the main event of a pay-per-view like Fastlane, I think they can steal the goddamn show and put on a pretty damn good matchup. And at the end of the day, the way you have Sami Zayn lose is that you have Kevin Owens come in and absolutely destroy him at the end of the show. So it's pretty easy to book that. And then I don't know what you're going to do with Shinsuke Nakamura at this point. I really don't. What's he going to do going into the Fastlane pay-per-view? Is he going to sit it out? Matter of fact, I would have Randy Orton show up. If Randy Orton's even working the schedule, I'm not even sure. I think he is going to appear at WrestleMania, and that's pretty much it. But if you ask me, I would pull Randy Orton out of wherever he is. I don't think he's going to be on television over these next couple weeks. And I'd put Randy Orton versus Shinsuke Nakamura on Fastlane. That'd be a pretty damn good matchup. But I don't know where they're going to go with that. But It seems interesting right now on SmackDown Live. It seems like they have direction, but there's still things falling flat. That women's division, how am I supposed to be interested in whatever happened with Ruby Riott and Charlotte Flair? Carmella tried to cash in. She failed. We all forgot she even had a briefcase. So it was false excitement. And then it looks like they're building towards Ruby Riott versus Charlotte at Fastlane. I don't know where they're going with that. So those are my thoughts on that. The attack by the Riott Squad was absolutely sloppy. I don't know about that, but I'm sure that if Ruby Riott and Charlotte go at it at Fastlane, you have your champions set right now. Your champions are correct going into WrestleMania. There's not going to be any title changes if you ask me at Fastlane. But then again, you know WWE and their garbage. Things are set right now for WrestleMania if you ask me. You got your champions down to a T. I keep it that way. Keep it that way is my thing. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I got for you guys right now on the SmackDown Live review. Heavily enjoyed talking about this show here tonight. Not so much watching it. Again, mediocre show here tonight. SmackDown Live still has a long way to go, but at least they have direction. Something SmackDown Live has needed for a long time. Too long. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it right now on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to go check out all the other content, Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, behind the mic each and every single weekend, NXT TakeOver specials, all that good stuff right here on Ringside Wrestling. Over 300 videos for you to go check out. So make sure to go check out all that other content, and of course, make sure to smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Like I said at the beginning of the video, hit it with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Hit it with the Pop-Up Power Bomb. Hit it with the Kinshasa. Hit it with the Styles Clash. Phenomenal Forearm. Hit it with all that good stuff. Because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.